Okay, here's a lesson on all of the stuff on that sheet. I just play it first of all. Okay, so what I did was take the 4-chord loop from the other day and start to really develop that using some thoughts about chord scales and thinking in a key, or just kind of how you might develop it so you can engage with this on any level that you can and wish to. The original loop, these original 4 chords, are probably either in the key of C minor or E flat major. The 5-1 there, G altered to C minor, is a 5-1 in C, but you could argue that that's an interpretation of a chord sequence from E flat major as well. More on that in just a second. So using that kind of principle, I thought about kind of just expanding it rather than it just being a standalone loop. Like, I could think more in key as well. Okay, so F minor 7, G altered C minor, taking the root notes there, that's a 4-5-1 in C. Obviously C minor, I suppose. F minor is not in the key of C major. But then using that voicing, what I heard in my head was this move, which you hear so often, which is a move that you tend to hear a lot in all kinds of contexts. So I'm taking that C minor voicing, taking it down a half step to B minor and then to B flat minor, and at that point it becomes the 2 of A flat, and so then I can play 2, 5, 1 into A flat major, and then of course A flat major I can drop down a half step back onto the G7 altered chord and head very quickly back to C minor. So I really liked that in terms of making a more interesting, perhaps, or certainly at least a longer sequence that was in C minor, then steps to A flat major, and then steps back into C minor. So that was what was going on there. And incidentally, that voicing, which I'm using chromatically, is one that I so often use, which is root minor 7th, 9th, 3rd, 5th on top, or if you want the note names, C, B flat, D, E flat, G. But that voicing, you can move around, and it's one I like to move around a lot. Okay, good. So that was kind of maximizing the kind of C minor quality of that original chord sequence. The next move I did was to think about it, but going to E flat major, which is the relative major of C minor. So there's F minor, we start on the same chord each time, but this time I'm going to go to an E flat chord. So that's E flat add 9 over G. For those of you that don't know, I'll spell the notes. G, F, B flat, E flat. If you ever watch one of my videos, you see me play that chord a million times. A flat major, B flat major, so that thoroughly is in. Thoroughly in E flat major there. which is 2, 1, 4, 5, 1, and I think works really well as a contrast from the minor sequence into the major, and then you could go back in. So that's what's going on there. Of course, just as a point of interest, the G altered is not a million miles away from E flat add 9 over G, is it? Because it's only one note difference. So there's E flat 9 over G. I'll voice it like this. You can hear that. But if I stick the B in there, it becomes G altered, G sharp 9 flat 13, G Hendrix kind of vibe. So I can play it over E flat and just take away the B natural, or I could do this voicing, which I like so much. Which is really cool. But those are really similar chords, but providing different functions, that being a dominant chord in C minor, and this being the chord 1, first inversion in E flat major. And that's kind of cool. So you could play around with this, with good voicing and good understanding. You could play the A flat minor chord, or you could use B flat major 7 or B flat minor there, in and around that chord sequence. But for now, just I think keep it simple like that, and it works as a good contrast. And then finally I went to D flat major 7, which was the transition, which in C minor is a flat 2 major 7 chord, D flat being the flat 2 of C minor, and it's the flat 7 chord of E flat Mixolydian, so it works really, really well. Going to E flat major, or really well going to C minor. Of course, works even better if we're heading to that F minor, but you can hear that F minor is not a resting place. It wants to go there, or into either C minor or E flat. So I hope that works out. Let me just play it one more time over the beat, and then hopefully it's making some sense to you. Okay, cool. See you next time.